All right. I was not going to start my video here at the house this morning, but since you can see what's going on over my shoulder, hopefully, it is snowing. Today is Tuesday. I was off yesterday for a doctor's appointment, so we're coming out on Tuesday. But we have some snow today. It's not supposed to be an all-day event or any kind of big major accumulations. It's 32 right now. Going to go up to about 42 this afternoon, and it's supposed to stop sometime mid-morning, late morning, I guess. But it's been cold all weekend. That mild weather did not last long. The whole weekend was cold and windy and everything else. But we're soon going to head on out and see how the roads are, and if we're going to start right on time or if they get dicey if we wait a little bit. But that's how it's going so far, and I don't know what kind of schedule I've got this week. Today's the 23rd, tomorrow Christmas Eve. Don't know if we're going to work a full day, half day, or what. Christmas Day will most certainly be off Thursday. Friday, I'm not sure yet how the plant's going to operate, when they're going to reopen. I'll have to find all that out when I get in this morning. But figured I'd get it started here and show you the snow that's falling over my shoulder there. It's light, and it's not anything major, and it sounds like the road's just wet. But anyway, we'll get going, talk to you down at work. All right, we are going to roll a little bit early because my first delivery, I've got two of my favorites today. I've got two Lansdales, and the first one says 10 o'clock. I don't know if that means before, at 10 o'clock or after 10 o'clock, but as you all know, I have a 9 o'clock start time, so I came in here for my start time, and now I see I'm supposed to be there at or after 10 o'clock. So once we get rolling and I get out to where I have signal, I'm going to call them and see what that is, because I'm not going to get there by 10 o'clock. Under normal conditions, I wouldn't get there by 10 o'clock. I'm not going to get there with snowy conditions by 10 o'clock. So now let's see if we have traction to even get out of here. Yeah, they broke it a little bit, but not too bad. And I've showed you that turn out there at the well in the woods, that right turn I gotta make. I certainly hope that they salted the daylights out of it and that it's just wet, because I'm gonna have a heck of a time getting up out of there and making that right on that hill if they didn't. Got some big fatties falling right now, and it's coming down pretty good. It's supposed to stop. And it's supposed to go up to about 40, 42 degrees, so I don't know what we're going to get later on today, but right now it's going to be dicey for a little while. Kick that over more to defrost. Nothing's coming. Well, I didn't break traction too much coming out of our driveway, so we'll see what we got. All my tires are rolling, looks like it. Didn't want to stop. The parking lot is, usually I'll stop in the parking lot, put it neutral, and let it drift backwards. As long as it drifts backwards, then I know we're free rolling. But with the snow, I didn't want to do that and then end up getting stuck. But we're pulling pretty good, so I do believe that everything is rolling the way it's supposed to be rolling. I was off yesterday, so another driver used his truck. He had the steering wheel set up differently, so keep messing around with that till I get it right. But it doesn't look like they salted this road at all, unless the snow rate is overcoming the salt. But it's pretty white. It's gonna be interesting coming up out of that well, if it's white over there. But we're gonna shut it down for a moment, and we'll talk to you when we get over there and see what it looks like. So, the further west we go here, the salt trucks have been through here, and it looks more wet than white, so it is starting to take effect. And this intersection doesn't look too bad. It looks like they dropped some salt on the worst of the hill here where we have to stop and get going. So, hopefully it keeps melting while we're down here loading, and we won't have a problem coming up out of here. I know the township knows that the water trucks come in and out of here. Now, they didn't salt the road, of course, but it looks like somebody had dropped some salt up there right at the intersection on the worst of that hill. So if we stop in the right place, we'll be on the wet pavement, and then we'll be able to get going. Doesn't mean we won't break traction a little bit just because of how hard the turn is and how steep the hill is, but we shouldn't get stuck there as long as it stays wet. You know, like I said, it break a little bit of traction, because even in the rain, making that turn to break a little bit of traction because it's a little slick. So, but yeah, this road wasn't really touched yet the way it looks. Or maybe a pickup truck came up through here and spread something. I don't know. I can't tell for sure. But anyway, we've got 2 of these. Now, the snow is supposed to... actually, they said about changing the rain maybe, and we're breaking traction pulling this little hill, but we are empty. It's supposed to stop sometime late morning or noon, so it's not an all-day event. So conditions will improve. It started half hour before I left the house, so now the crews are trying to get out and address the situation. So some of the roads are still a little bit dicey yet. And once we get over the mountain, it's probably going to be warm enough. Everything's just going to be wet down there. Even if it's snowing, it's probably just going to be wet down there. So the next thing is to see who, if anybody, is in here. Hopefully nobody, and we can get loading right away. They did want them there around 10 o'clock, but obviously weather conditions going to slow things down a little bit. We'll get them there when we get them there. We'll do it safely, not swiftly in this point in time. So, gotta watch this turn here, downhill and kind of sharp. And we'll have better traction once we're loaded. 80,000 pounds versus maybe 30,000 pounds here. So. Let's see what we got. Anybody in here? No. Good. Nobody's in here. That means we can start loading right away. Alright, so as you saw, nobody was here when we got here, so we were able to back right up and hook up and get loading. And so far everything going good, loading properly, got the paperwork done, got the computer work done, seals all ready. All we got to do is wait, get 6,200 gallons shuttered down, so we can leave it at 8,000 for the other guys that are running and clear it so that they can start fresh, seal her up, and get going. And hopefully that salt continues to work out there at that intersection, and we won't have a problem getting out back on the 895. And like I said, once we get out to 309 was just wet, and it's probably going to be pretty much wet up over the top of the mountain. And once we get down in the valley and beyond, then we're going to be in good shape, I believe. So the itinerary today, we have 2 of those Lansdale runs back to back to start the day, and then we have 1 down to Fogelsville. So we'll see how it goes. We shouldn't have a problem getting back for the night shift driver with only 3 loads. So, and I'm not going to be down there at rush hour the way it looks. First one's supposed to be there at 10. Well, we'll probably get it there maybe closer to 11. And then the second one, we probably get down there about 2 o'clock, which will still put us ahead of that school getting out and ahead of the beginning of rush hour. So we should have a little bit easier time down there than we had in the last video. But nonetheless, it's not my favorite place to go. And like I said, it is not because of the people down there or the customer. It is what we have to do to actually deliver the load as far as traffic goes and stuff. So, but anyway, we're going to go back inside the building for a while to get out of the snow, and then once we're done, we'll get going, talk to you en route. All right, well, it looks like the salt worked a little bit better. It looks like it's more wet than slush up there, so we should be all right as long as we get the drives up there onto the wet before we come to a stop. Right now I'm riding the crown of the road and not getting too close to the right edge because it does lean to the right. Don't want to slide off into the grass, so we ride the crown up here. Keep from having a problem. Now, once again, let's see what this is going to default into. Probably fourth gear again. I gotta come to a stop unless nothing is coming, and nothing is coming either way. So I didn't have to come to a complete stop, which is preferable in that situation because it is a tough turn on the drive line. So, and this road now is just wet. So, all right, first obstacle is completed, not a problem. And if this road is just wet, then 309 should be just wet. The only place it may be a little bit slushier is up on top of the mountain where it might be a little bit colder. Although if this is a warm air advection storm, then in those situations, sometimes the mountain ridges are warmer than the valleys. So we will see. But so far so good. Like I said, we are not going to get down there at 10 o'clock. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half to get down there, and it is 9:24 right now. So 10 o'clock is out the window. If I'd have known ahead of time, and I didn't because I was off yesterday, so I didn't see my work orders until this morning. Usually I get them the night before. I would have started an hour earlier to make sure I was there by 10 o'clock, but I didn't know, so it is what it is. And I talked to the boss, and he knows about it, understands it, is what it is, according to him. So, well, we shouldn't have too much problem getting there. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's terrible. We're not going to fly. Again, like I said, going in there, safety first. So, we're not going to lollygag, but we're not going to fly. So, that being said, I'll talk to you more later on. Alright, made it down here to Fogelsville. We're going to be getting on 78 East 22, grab that turnpike to go down to Lansdale. Roads down here are pretty much just wet. For a while there was slush on the shoulders, but wet in the drive lanes, and we could have rolled a little faster where we were, but this guy in this straight truck ahead of that PPC Lubricants tanker is, don't know if he's scared to drive or what, but he came down at a pretty slow rate where he could have moved it a little bit better. Like I said, safety over speed, but basically it's just a white rain down here. There's no ice anywhere, but he kind of crawled all the way down here. So we are getting on the freeway at 10 o'clock, and we probably got about a 45-minute ride to get to the plant that we got it delivered to. So like I said, probably close to 11 o'clock, but yeah, nowhere near as bad down here. You can see it did snow. It's white in the grass, but come on, Wal, what are you gonna do, Walmart? Are you gonna let me out? He's trying to move over. Alright, he got over. White in the grass, but just wet on the roads. So other than traffic, it shouldn't be too bad going down there. It shouldn't be too bad getting in there to deliver and all that stuff. It's not even really snowing down here. If anything, it is a misty rain, maybe a flake or two mixed in a few places, but otherwise it's more rain than snow down here, and it almost stopped. So all right, so we're gonna find out what we got. There's, like I said, the traffic is nowhere near as heavy as it is at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. There's still going to be some traffic, and it may challenge us a little bit, but it shouldn't be anything like it was in the last video. And we're still going to cheat left a little bit here because I don't know who's up here by the stop line. Actually, nobody. See, this is what I mean. This is so much better. Now I can set up right away. And back in here. It is nowhere near as bad, except that I gotta put my windows down because everything's dirty now. And I didn't even look to see which one I'm in. The easy one right now. Okay. Much, much different. no, I'm in the hard one. Shoot. I'm in the spot that isn't a spot. I didn't realize that. All right, well, once we get in, we'll be able to wiggle around. It's just a matter of getting in here, I think. Ah, that messed me up big time. I should have looked before I got in here where I was putting this trailer. But we'll be all right. We'll get it. We'll get it. We're off the road. There's one spot that isn't marked because they added a trailer to the pool down here. It used to only be 2 trailers, and it's 3. So one trailer gets dropped where there is no spot. So I messed that one up a little bit, but still, with no traffic here, it's still easy to fix even. Now, if I'd have done that at 5 o'clock, I'd have been in a world of hurt. I gotta reposition it just a little bit yet. Like I said, this is not an actual spot, so there's no markings of where to put it. You gotta straighten it out so I don't hit that cone back there. There's a cone that tells you where to stop. So there we go. Now we're right. But even with me screwing it up, nowhere near the hassle or the frazzle. All right, we are in. Now all we gotta do, push back on the pin a little bit so we can unhook, and then we'll be good to go. All right, well, the first thing we had to do was use this Job Johnny here, and we're gonna drop and hook to an empty, but I had to run over here to this Job Johnny first. I wish there was one a little closer, and we can't shortcut between the buildings because we don't have the PPE, and there's, I don't know, some other reason why. So we gotta walk around the front of the building to do it and get over here. Normally I don't have to. There's a Job Johnny on the get-on ramp on the turnpike that I can use, and but this time I just couldn't wait, and my back teeth were floating. So we took a walk. Now we're gonna go over, drop and hook, and get out of here. So not too bad on this first one, and I talked to the guy. He doesn't mind. I said, I'm a little late, sorry, the snow up north. He says, nope, you're on time. So, and I told him, I said, be an hour probably behind on the next one. Nope, you're okay. All right, first one is done. Let's get out of here while I can get out and get straightened out. There we go. But that was pretty easy today. The first one. Let's hope we can get down here before 3 o'clock on the second one. And make haste if we can. As long as there's no snow on the roads, we can pretty much go normal. And get up there and hopefully don't have to wait to get loaded up there. And get ourselves back down here before that school on the right lets out. And apologies in advance for the upper right-hand corner of the image. The window got pretty salted up with the crappy weather today, and don't really have time to clean it up. I want to get down here before the traffic gets bad. Maybe I'll wipe it down after the second load and give you a little better look, but most of the frame is clear from the wipers, so I just have to deal with that little dirty corner there. So it is what it is. When the weather is bad, it is, you can't really help it. So, but anyway, we're out of there, rolling back up to get the second one. Borderline needing sunglasses. It got brighter up here. It got warmer. It is 35 and it is raining now instead of snowing, but it got bright, and I'm real close to not gonna slam on the brakes. Got a grabby brake trailer, so I ain't gonna play any games. It got fairly bright that it's borderline sunglasses time. I don't really need them, but it's just kind of at that point where I could. So I don't know if that means the cloud deck is thinning out and the rain and snow and whatever. I don't know what's going on the other side of the Blue Mountain, but here it's rain and just wet. So I don't know if that means it's going to soon start clearing out. Maybe we even see a little sun this afternoon. I don't know. But so far so good coming up. No problems. Right now traffic is light. Only fly in the ointment right now would be if somebody or two trucks are at that well loading, one loading and one waiting to load, because then that will set me back, and I really hope not, because as it stands right now it's 11:50. I'll probably get up there about 12:30, load, get out of there. I can get down to Lansdale about 2 o'clock or so, and that will, oh boy, now I got a garbage truck in front of us. He's gonna pull the hill slow until we get to the Blue and I can get around him. But I'd like to get down to Lansdale around 2 o'clock before that school lets out and the traffic picks up. We have 2 easy drops there, and that's that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, when I get to the well, nobody is there. I think this tanker in front of us, I think he's smoking his brakes. It didn't seem like he was on them much, but it just looks funny behind his trailer, and it sure smells bad. Unless I'm smelling what he's hauling, because sometimes you can smell what somebody's hauling in a tanker if it's some kind of a chemical. Even hot asphalt, sometimes you can smell that if you get behind a tanker, but I don't know, it looks... The mist that's coming off the back of that thing looks kind of bluish, not like normal rain mist. So I don't know if he got his brakes a little warm or not. I mean, it stinks though. Whew. Can't wait till we get down the bottom of the hill and turn off. All right. Let's see what we got. Our owner-operator was just coming out. When I was turning off the main road to come in this road, he was just coming out. So let's hope he was the only one that was in here at the time. And we got it all to ourselves again. And yes, we do. Yes, we do. Very, very good. That's what I wanted to see. I know there was one other truck that was running out of here. And I don't know what his time frame is. He was in here a half hour before I was on the first load. So I don't know if he'll be back or not. I see everybody likes to use the left side. I like to use the right side. You see where everybody sets up the load, but for some reason I prefer to use the other side. Left side looking at the building, right side when you're backing up to it. I prefer to be on the right side of it. I can stand at the door and look down the trailer and see if anything's going wrong, all kinds of stuff. I just prefer that right side. I don't think anybody was on that right side since I was there. My semi-covered tracks are still there, but I think everybody else used the left side. No, we'll give the right side some more love. I'm gonna put the window down. Everything is so dirty. The window's dirty, the mirror's dirty. all salted up. This is one of those that they don't plow, they just salt. So they dump a ton of salt out, which is helpful and needed, but it makes a mess of everything then. I'll probably try to clean up the mirrors and stuff when I drop that next one down Lansdale, because as long as it's still wet, it's going to keep getting messed up. All right, so we're here loading up the second one, and as you saw, we got very fortunate to not have anybody in here loading ahead of us. Like I said, our owner-operator, if I would have turned the camera on out there on 895, you would have seen them coming out, but I show you that so much, I figured I'd wait till I got in closer here to turn the cameras on. So, but nobody was here, so we were very fortunate. So we're loading up this second one, and I had a choice between two trailers, and I picked the one I have now as my second load. That way when I take this one down there, I'll drop it and I'll grab our other one that is newer, because this one, and I mentioned it coming up, I think, at one of the traffic lights, this one has some grabby brakes when it's empty. Nothing you can do about it. It's always been that way. The mechanics have looked at it and they just can't solve the problem. No knock on them, but the trailer has always been that way for years. The brakes are really touchy on this one when it's empty. So I figured I would take this one and get rid of it and come back up with the newer one tonight. So that way my night shift partner has a better trailer to run her loads with. And she doesn't have to worry about that, especially if this stuff starts to freeze up. If it doesn't get windy or sunny or anything, and it don't dry out and gets colder and starts to freeze up, she won't have a trailer that might slide out on her and jackknife. So. But anyway, we're loading up. Shouldn't be too long. Get out of here. We got here about 10 minutes sooner than I thought we would. So we'll get out of here 10 minutes sooner than I thought we would. And we should get down there between 2 and 2:30, which puts us ahead of that school dismissal. Unless they have an early dismissal. I don't know. Where I live, they had a half day today, which actually ended up being postponed because of the snow this morning. They weren't going to send them in for a half day when the worst of the weather was going to be in the morning, so they just actually canceled school. But either way, we're going to get down there before the rush hour starts, thankfully, and hopefully we have an easy time backing in there as we did on the first one. All right, so actually I'm not sure if traffic got heavier yet or not. It just seemed like it back there at that intersection, but if it did, it's just only slightly heavier. So we will see what we got when we turn the corner. Hopefully that road is the way it was when we came down here with the first one. Nobody was there. I was able to swing left, set up the back up, and got myself right in. And this time, well, I know which spot's going to be open. The one I took this trailer out of is the one that's going to be open, but I totally forgot to look and see which was the vacant spot to put the trailer in. It was funny, and I almost screwed myself up. There's traffic coming up, but it doesn't look like it's that bad yet. We will see. I'm gonna ditch the seatbelt right now. That was another thing. I ditched the seatbelt too late, and I'm a religious seatbelt wearer, but when I back in, I can't wear a seatbelt. So rather than fumble around with it after I make this turn, I'm just gonna lose it right here, right now, and I am not gonna try to make the right turn on red, because as you can see, all the cars that are coming up out of there, if I try to swing around, might head on somebody, and we don't want to do that, especially something like that. Traffic does seem to be heavier on that road, man. There's more of it coming out. Let's hope that was the last of a line for a while. Yeah, pretty much. Now maybe we can let this one car come up here if they hurry, and then duck in and do what we need to do. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. You gotta claim it. And when there isn't a whole lot of traffic, you can claim it. But if there's a lot of traffic, then you can't claim it. But I claimed it, we got it, and just as easy as this morning. In fact, it'll be a little easier because I know where I'm going to put the trailer. That's awesome. This is the time I wish I could come down here every day if I had to do these every day. Easy peasy, not like those last two videos. Look at this, one shot. I am not even gonna have to pull it up, except for maybe to line up the back of the trailer where it needs to be. There, I'm straight, so I probably just have to pull up. Actually, I'm almost right about where I need to be. Push back so we can unhook. All right, so we are hooked up to our empty that we're going to take back, and we're going to soon be out of here. 2 pauses for the cause. One of them is a nicotine pause for the cause. I don't make it too widely known, but I am a smoker. Try not to smoke on camera, and I don't smoke in the trucks because we're shared trucks. So 1 pause for the cause, and then 1 pause for the cause for nicotine. But we're gonna roll out of here as soon as we're done, and we're not on a time crunch now because I got down here before the time I wanted to, which was good. You saw how easy it was to get in here. And the trailer I brought down is already empty, so I had my choice of picking up the one I brought down or grabbing that newer one that I was telling you about. So I grabbed a newer one. That way the girl has a nice trailer tonight to run with. But I gotta find out, instead of doing 2 of the Reddings or Fogelsvilles and then coming down here and getting stuck in here between 3 and 5 p.m., I gotta see if I can do like 1 Redding or Fogelsville and then come down here and do the swap, and chances are the trailer is going to be empty, and then it'll get me in and out of here before the traffic gets bad. I got to ask about it. I don't know if they're going to say yes or no, or if maybe they can adjust time a little bit, but now you saw those last 2 videos. It is a flat out bear to try and get in here after 3 o'clock. So if I can get down here between noon and 2, I'm in good shape. That's what I'm going to try and see if I can get them to work with me on. So, but anyway, we'll be done here in a few minutes, and we're going to roll northbound and get one that's going to go down to Fogelsville. All right, so we are climbing up this little hill that I told you before was called the Ridge Cup. We blew by the entrance to the Red Barn location. We're going up here to Tamaqua with a load. There are too many trucks in that Red Barn today, and the rate's down to like 100 and 120 gallon a minute. Guys are telling me that it was taking an hour to load a 6,000 gallon tank and an hour and a half to load an 8,000 gallon tank. And then most likely you'll get up there and somebody will be there loading ahead of you, so then you're going to have to wait on that. So we're going to come up here and hope everything is kind of clear. Even if we have to wait on a truck, nowhere near as busy as that one is, so we should get a good rate and load with a good time duration. And one other thing up here is one of the drivers had brought one of our old wash brushes up here, so I'm going to be able to at least kind of give a quickie wash to the side windows, which I can barely see out of because of the salt spray on them. And maybe, I don't know if it'll do any good or make it worse, but try and hit this windshield a little bit, because this was just a dirty snowfall today. Got maybe a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, which is not enough to drop a blade, but enough to need the salt trucks, because it was 28 when it started. It was 30, 31 when I went to work. Didn't get above freezing for a couple hours after that, so it started sticking the roads, as you saw first thing this morning. And So it just made a mess of everything. In fact, it looks like they got more snow up here than even down at our shop and out where we were loading this morning. There's a lot more snow on the shoulder here. The road's just wet, but the shoulder looks like it had a pretty good amount of snow. We'll see when we get to the well. Wondering if it wasn't closer to an inch up this way. It was a little showery. Some places had more snow than others from what I was reading on my weather board. So maybe a heavier band of snow went through up here and gave them a little bit more than other areas. We'll see when we get there, but now we're getting sprayed up again. Now watch this. Probably gonna make it white. Kind of, but anyway, we're almost here. Yeah, now we're making it a mess. I hit this with the washer again. We're almost here, so we're gonna shut it down, and once we start loading, once we get these windows cleaned up a little bit, then we'll talk to you before we head down to Fogelsville. All right, so we're loading up here at Tamaqua. Nobody was here, and nobody was here since 1 o'clock, and it's now going on 4, and only 5 loads were drawn out of here all day. So, well, 4 loads. There were only 4 loads drawn out of here. I'm the 5th load. Everybody is down there at that red barn, and nobody was up here. I don't understand it. So I'm loading at 450 gallon a minute. I'll be out of here in about 15, 20 minutes. If I went to red barn, I might have been there for 2 hours waiting to load. So good call coming up here. So I kind of cleaned the windows as best I could. It's just a brush. There's no squeegee to squeegee it off, but there's a brush here that I could hit it with water. So hopefully it cleaned them up a little bit. And they'll get dirty again, as you saw. It's just so much salt and wet on the roads right now. But we're loading up. We're doing good. And we'll talk to you en route down there. All right, we are loaded and out of here. And I did try to clean these windows up a little bit, the windshield, side windows, and the mirrors. I actually had to get the Windex out and do the side windows. I don't know, just straight water and a brush wasn't enough. It left big white globs on the side windows, so I had to clean them up a little better, and then I hit the mirrors a little bit better too. They're not going to stay clean. I mean, as you can see, everything is still wet. As we go down the road here further, you're going to see that it's still slushy. I guess it didn't seem like they got more snow up here than anywhere else, but it might have stayed just a little bit colder up here, so it didn't melt as quickly. Because this road is still holding a lot of slush, especially in these shadier locations under the trees, but even out here in the open, there's still a little bit of slush. So it must have been a little bit colder. The further north you went, now the red barn is south of here, and the well in the woods is southwest of here, and it might have been just a degree or 2 warmer down there than it was up here. So because not as much melted off, it looks like they got more. But we loaded quick. I almost didn't have time. I did my paperwork, went out and had a nature call, and then cleaned these windows off, and I was just about done loading. So it went really quick. But at 450 a minute, it's going to. So, but we're on our way down, and we'll see how long we can keep these windows clean. I doubt very long, but at least they're better than they were. So we'll talk to you on the way down there somewhere maybe, but if not, then down at the plant for sure. So, all right. Well, if the tanker that I saw ahead of us is going where I think it's going, then I may not get to talk to you at the plant, so I'm going to talk to you here. We just had to sit through a second light there because somebody wanted to make a left turn but wasn't in the left turn lane, and then instead of getting out in the intersection and clearing it up so everybody who wanted to go straight could go straight, he just sat there. And then when the light turned red, then he decided to go and burned everybody at the traffic light. He had plenty of room to slide left into the intersection and then wait and let all of us go by him, but he just sat there. So, but anyway, we're down here in Fogelsville, and let's see what we get. Up now, this one's gonna be yellow. We're gonna get almost every light red down here for some reason. It timed out wrong, and I don't know if that car was part of the problem, but now we gotta sit through this red light. This one isn't usually too long. It's the one down there at the Wawa that takes forever. See, this one already turned green for the traffic on the right, or left. Traffic on the right already cleared. It's the one down there that is a super long light because of all the traffic that comes from our right out of that side of the industrial park. Nestle and a few of the other plants, Ocean Spray and whatnot. And so that light is stupid long down there. But maybe we get it right until this one turns green. That one will turn green for us. But yeah, if that guy's going to the plant we're going to, then of course I won't be able to talk to you down at the plant like I usually like to do. So we will see. I don't know if he was a Nestle truck or if he was one of our trucks. Yep, see that light turned green now. So now we should be able to roll it. I don't think it's going to turn red on us before we get there. No, because the arrow's just going away now. The left turn arrow just went away, so now northbound green is going to get going. So we're going to hold it. We'll get down to at least industrial. And I don't know, these school lights are flashing down here, but I don't know, not every school district had school today. Some of them were off because of the weather. Some of them started their Christmas vacation early. Let's see what we got here. If there are no cars parked in that lot, then there was no school today, and there was no school today. That lot is empty. The school is dark. But we still got to take it a little easy through here. Until we get down to this light, the light's gonna turn red. So I guess we'll just talk to you hopefully in the plant. I don't know if we're gonna be able to, but we'll try to. All right, well, one guy left, the other guy's leaving now. I'm just about done. Give me a second to talk to you guys. We're unloading down here, this third one. This is our final one of the night. And then we're gonna head back north, get fuel for our night shift driver if she's coming out. And then we're gonna go to the shop and park it, and we'll definitely talk to you back there before we roll on out and head home. All right, by now you know the routine. We're empty and we're leaving. And the reason I am filming so quickly after I just talked to you while we were finishing up unloading is because by the time we get back out on the road and somewhere up north, these windows may be filthy again. I just kind of hit them with the washer fluid, and I mean, we always hit them again with the washer fluid when we stop for fuel, but it's just been a dirty day. So, but we're done. And heading back. Everything's still wet, as you can see. Nothing at all has dried out. It's been solid gray overcast all day long, no sunshine, and really no wind. At least it never hit 40, but it didn't really feel all that cold because it wasn't windy out. If it's windy out, then it just gets stupid cold, but really wasn't that bad. So, but anyway, we're rolling on out. We'll talk to you either along the way or up there when we park. Oh, they fixed the lights here. I guess I'll talk to you for a couple minutes longer. This was real dark here. They fixed the lights here. So at least we have light till we get out the past the gate or past the guardhouse. So, all right, now we'll talk to you later. All right, well, we're parked and we're done. Paperwork's complete. We just gotta walk around and kick the tires and stuff, but the mechanics are here, so we don't have time to talk to you guys. So, all right, we'll talk to you in the next one.